Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Valentine Lister and this is my Minor Arcana series on the wands. And today we're going to cover this guy or gal who's in this card, the Page of Wands. And we're going to go into the card in deep. I am like so excited to share this information with you guys because even doing the research on this, it really helped me crack the code of what this card, who this person is, who they represent. So we're going to be able to see which other cards rule this card, and there are actually other cards in the Minor Arcana that tell a story about this card, which is super exciting, and it ties into the astrology associated with this card. I'm also going to cover numerology as well as any other symbols I think would be important to know in the card, as well as the upright and the reverse meanings. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the Page of Wands. So we're getting into the court cards, which means it's a person card. These cards are related to a person. So who, right? If this card comes up, who's the person in your life? So we're going to look into this card. And just to give you a feel for this card, I nicknamed this card the Rejuvenated Warrior. And I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over like a sinus infection. So that's mostly gone. But I'm carrying on anyway. So this person is rejuvenated, energized, ready to roll. And this is from my video on the easiest way to understand the wands. I gave the cards little nicknames so it would help you remember them. So for this card, it represents the entire season of the summer. So it holds all of the wisdom you learned from journeying through the wands. So the end of the summer. I like to think of the Ace as the beginning of the summer and the Page of Wands at the end. So I thought it would be fun to do a quick run through of all of the cards 1 through 10 so we could review them and see what the Page of Wands learns, what wisdom they hold, what they're all about. Okay, so in the Ace of Wands, we had that pure spark of passion or inspiration. In the Two of Wands, we set out to conquer the world with nothing holding us back. In the Three of Wands, we see the fruits of our labor coming in and we feel fortunate, vibrant, and alive. In the Four of Wands, we celebrate life like there is no tomorrow. In the Five of Wands, we start to notice that there's heated competition and we must fight to get what we want. In the Six of Wands, we celebrate our victories and we take our role as a wise leader. As a leader, we discern and reflect on when to fight and take action and when to step back and let things go. In the Eight of Wands, we rely on inspiration and intuition to guide us in our actions. In the Nine of Wands, we realize that even though our experiences can leave us beaten and bruised, it also has left us with a lot of wisdom. In the Ten of Wands, it's time to make a decision on how we want to structure our lives based on what we've learned and our experiences. Other things I've noticed about this card, specifically the colors, which are pretty straightforward, but do tell us a lot. We have this gray hat here, which tells us they've accrued a lot of wisdom from the wands journey. And we have this little red feather in the cap for the wands. And then we notice there is a ton of like red, orange, yellow, and that represents energy, activity, drive, confidence, enthusiasm, optimism, courage, desire, passion, creativity, and heat. And if you want to know more about what each color represents, I made a video on that, so I'll link that up here in the description. I'll link it up here in a card and I'll put it down in the description box below for you. And another thing I want to add about the symbols is that there are salamanders, actually, like the symbols of salamanders on the pattern on the clothes here. And you'll find that with all of the court cards and the wands. And the salamander has a story behind it, and I got to share it. So fire salamanders were common in Europe. I don't know if they still are now. I just looked at the history. And they had a lot of folklore and like myths surrounding them. So people thought that these salamanders could withstand fire and were fireproof. And they like made us think they had all of these like magical properties and abilities. And it wasn't true. People actually burned some salamanders. Sorry for animal lovers, but to try to test this out, it's not true. I'm sorry. So anyway, sometimes history is gruesome, especially if you're going into medieval times, which these cards kind of show that time period. But anyway, the association was created because fire salamanders would shelter in the nooks of logs. So they would make their homes in logs or wood that people were going to burn. And so when people would throw those logs into their fires to cook or whatever, start the fire, the salamanders would like run out as if being born from a fire. So that, again, this is back in medieval times and maybe earlier than that, that these myths were created. But they thought because it looked like the salamander was like born from the fire and they ran away, that they were fireproof and wouldn't get burned. All right, so I'm going to get into the upright meaning of this card, and the page represents a youthful, fiery person, generally a female, who's energetic, open, and receptive to experiences and willing to learn from them. So again, the important thing to remember is this is a person. It's a person connected to creative projects, work, romance, dating, children, spirituality. So you read this as a person you know or will encounter. So like if somebody's asking about or you're wondering about a person, right? And you want to know if this person is going to show up somewhere. This is your person card. This is representing a specific person. And I'm just repeating this over and over because a lot of times people do not read these cards like that. And again, it could represent you and it could represent experiences you're having, but I just want to encourage you not to jump to that too quickly because a lot of times it can be true that it could represent a person. And so it's always good in a reading to just throw that out as a possibility that it could be a person or it could be you feeling this way, you as the person. All right, so the reversed meaning. So the energy is being blocked or avoided. So since this is a person, and it's the person described in the upright meaning, you might be estranged or disconnected from them in some way. You might not want to see them. They may not want to see you, or you're arguing with them. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video on the Page of Wands. This is just a reminder that if you really like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for when I release my next video. For my next video, I'll be covering the Knight of Wands. Also, if you want to catch up on the videos that I've done, I put a minor arcana playlist right here for you guys to view. Also, a related video on the minor arcana up here. All right, love you guys so much. Take care. Bye. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.